This is the Stupid Monkey Philosophy channel, part of the Trusty Ape Co. family of networks. I'm your host, Kevin Chaos, the Mohawk Monkey. Of course, I inherited a bad case of the hiccups just before going live, trying to get rid of them, but it's not working out for me so well, so I'll have to live with these hiccups, and so will you. It's just the way nature intended. Continue reading my work in progress on the Exigency for forming the foundations of philosophy. God, I really wish this thing would go away. Okay. 2. The order of fundamental and non-fundamental particulars appears to stem from the Aristotelian theory that if physics explains the material or natural, then metaphysics must explain the immaterial or supernatural reasons for why things exist fundamentally. Presuming a finite causal chain, which is not evident nor apparent unless asserting a deistic or cataclysmic origin, which are not observable, testable, repeatable, etc. And this dispels of the notion that metaphysics is an inherently functional bridge between the sciences and general matters of philosophical reasoning. Three. Quote, philosophy is the mother of all science, end quote. Marcus Tullius Cicero. Cicero lived from 106 to 43 BC during the decline of the Roman Republic. His works as a politician, legal advocate, and philosopher were extensive and invaluable. In his lifetime, Cicero witnessed the rise of Judaism in Rome, as well as the assassination of Julius Caesar. Still, in his time, even most educated and affluent societies possessed very little real knowledge of what we now call hard science. The most relevant scientific discoveries would not be made until much later, during the Age of Reason or Age of Enlightenment, 1600s to 1800s AD. The study of life, the universe, and everything is as old as time itself. As far back as our historical and archaeological records can see, there has always been some religion, some oral or graphic tradition, or some folklore or mythology representing real or symbolic human experiences. Additionally, the question of how to establish and maintain order amongst rapidly multiplying and ever-expanding populations most effectively became of paramount interest. Social grouping is commonplace amongst apes and non-human primates, so it makes sense that our minds trend towards seeking out or creating more informed and elaborate methods for refining and perfecting the cultivation and administration of orderly and cooperative there it goes, hierarchies within and amongst populations, both to defend against and dominate amongst our own respective in-groups, as well as countless beasts and forces of nature, whether seen or unseen, which they faced on a frequent and often unpredictable basis throughout the process of evolution over an immense span of time. And my hiccups are starting to annoy even me. Hello, Silverwolf. Be, am, is, are, was, were, being, been. p.2, Section C. The study of reality and general matters. C1 is sufficiently vague as to be indicative of virtually any matters, lack specificity. C2 Reality, as clearly evidenced by virtue of the existence of philosophical debate, is purely subjective. C3. General matters, as it turns out, is simply a reiteration of the first point, C1, and is redundant by its own phraseology. General matters is definitionally and functionally equivalent to generic things, which is both linguistically and philosophically incomplete as a statement, concept, or even what we would call an abstract or vague notion. I feel like my hiccups are getting worse. Yep, they are. Definitely are. Author's note. It is meaningless for one to profess to study logic and reason while simultaneously expressing that you hold no particular position to speak of. Yet, this is a common trap some thinkers get mired in. If it is not useful, informative, or reasonably intelligible, then what is the function? What purpose does it serve? Could logic and reason exist purely for their own sake in the minds of particular entities without practical function? And if so, then from where are they derived? Hyperbolically hypothetical mental vacuums. If it's holding your breath or chugging water, I'm not in the market for this right now. I need to go get some water. I was only going to do a short one anyway, and now it's like the hiccups just get worse and worse as they go on. Jeez. Okay. As useful as Aristotle's analytics may be, they are not without weakness. The most glaring example of this can be demonstrated as follows. 1. All men are immortal. 2. All Greeks are men. Ergo, all Greeks are immortal. Gosh. Despite the impractical implications of the facts presented within the syllogism itself, it is, for all intents and purposes, a valid argument in theory. The only requirement for its validity is that if true, both or all of the premises would be logically support the conclusion presented. An argument is called sound if all of its premises and its conclusions are both valid and true. We can come back to this in greater detail later in the work, but for now take mental note of the 3 fundamental laws of logic. I'm told there are actually more laws of logic than this. This is me talking, not out of the work, so I would have to add these additional laws in logic, and I've been told that I've transposed 3 to 1. Oh no, so I fixed this already. It begins with the principle of identity. 1. Principle of identity states that where x is known to be identical to y, any statement about x or y will have the same meaning and value even if they be juxtaposed. So, if x and y are properly identified, it doesn't matter whether you talk about x first or y first, right? X plus y is the same as y plus x. They're the same equation because you have the same 2 fundamental components. Doesn't matter what order they come. 2. The law of excluded middle states that each premise must logically follow from the one stated previously. So, if y does not follow x, it wouldn't matter what order they're in. If x does not follow y, then you have a middle premise that comes in between those 2. 3. The law of contradiction or non-contradiction states that a valid premise cannot be in opposition to any prior or posterior premise. So the law of excluded middle is saying that you're missing something in between. The law of contradiction says that the 2 things you're saying are directly opposed to each other. I think that's about as far as I'll go right now. I'll go figure out how to get rid of these hiccups. They're bad. And a cup of water with a straw and plug your ears as you drink the water. Oh, that sounds good because I have water in my ear. So between the hiccups and the water in my ear, yeah. But it anyway. Doesn't. I'm not gonna complain about it. Stupid Monkey Philosophy uh, at TrustyApeco #TrustyApeco, but don't email trustyapeco@gmail.com because I won't get it. Email stupidmonkeyphilosophy@gmail.com if you want to email me. Otherwise, the rest of y'all know how to get a hold of me. So it's just one of those things we got to do every show. Do the chills. I'll probably be back fooling around and explaining what I done last night later on after I get rid of these hiccups. So much love, be well, stay trusty, and keep philosophizing. We'll see you next time.